interesting. Anyway, we'll see. I'll throw it up there. So let's imagine that you're. Let's picture. You're sort of on patrol, and let's imagine this sort of line of gears, the silhouette of these gears, these machines rolling over these rocky, craggy desert hills with the kind of the early dawn light behind them, sort of pink and gray, backlit scene as their silhouettes come over the hills. And there's probably in the background, there's probably some little floating dirigibles. I forget what they call them, but they have these like sort of sci-fi, Studio Ghibli looking balloons floating through the air behind you. But you're going to, as you're on your route, you have a regular patrol route. Your current sort of overarching mission has to do with protecting the trade routes and the pilgrimage routes from raids by various warlords and organized crime people in the area. Warlord is an interesting word, right? Like they would probably call themselves chieftains. Your sort of training, the training materials you're given always refers to them as, warlords or gangs. But while you're out here, like your radio crackles to life, and you get this all points. This is on like the SOS frequency, and you get this incoming distress call saying, this is Tobin Homestead. We are under attack. Anyone help, please. We have civilians under fire. Calling anyone who can render aid. And as you're hearing this, your section leader, Ranger Dista, cuts in on your channel and says, "Are you getting that, Alpha Squadron? It looks like
reading it.
Looks like you're the closest. Check this out, and if it's raider activity, you are cleared to engage and destroy."
Copy that. So I'll switch over to the team channel and
All right.
and say,
It's fun to see
looks like this won't be as looks like this won't be as uneventful. Looks like this won't be as uneventful as last time.
All right. Fleece says, "Well, I guess we'll see if you can handle it, Ranger."
Just keep your eyes on. Sorry. I was going to cut in for a second.
I will change my call sign to Spider.
Okay. I like
to
it.
avoid being the confusion with other elements in this game. Okay.
Understood.
Okay.
Oh, no problem. Chalk will just pop up as soon as Flea says something and be like, let's just make sure your diagnostic mode is on there. And so, what happened last time?
All right. Flea says, "Sir, yes, sir," and flicks out. I'm assuming the convention is to refer to all officers as sir, regardless of gender. which I've seen in movies. It's like,
That makes sense.
all right.
I do believe that is. I do believe that is the case now.
Okay. So, so basically, you would have a map. I was going to make a cool sci-fi map, but I didn't. Went by the wayside. But you will head west towards the edge of your patrol sector to get to Tobin Homestead. So the homesteads, right, are collections of small farms and homes in the village in the Badlands that kind of eke out this perilous existence with, trying to collect as much water as they can from the table rock and from the air through moisture collectors in order to grow these crops, in order to sort of support livestock in the form of these like springers, these odd like sort of kangaroo lizard creatures are a thing that people ride all the time, and different kind of animals. But so you'll be heading towards one location like this, and it will be, when you get to the area, it'll be on the other side of a long ridge line. And what you'll see when you get there, and it's still kind of early morning, so you might still have lights on, but you will see. Let's get this map up here. All right. So is everyone seeing a map with a bunch of hexes? Another map of a settlement on a futuristic planet and not New Mexico.
Yeah.
And up here,
New Mexico might be like that.
yeah. And up here is sort of your entry point to the situation, where the little sort of blue tinted hunter is. And these two trucks, these are just ordinary civilian trucks, but they are sort of banging over this rough ground, trying to get to this lair with their lights on as fast as possible. And as you enter and see these trucks coming, you will see another. It's time to use the eyeball feature. You'll see this guy, and this is sort of a semi-military vehicle. Break the Ridge, and it is they are. It's like a little, not quite an APC. It's an all-purpose military cargo carrier, but that's sort of used a lot by the sort of chieftains in the area as like a troop transport. Just troop transport meaning guys just pile in the back and with their guns, and they are firing small arms fire at these two trucks that are apparently fleeing from the area.
Sorry, do I have a sense of what the people in the trucks are?
You do not, at this moment, you do not have much of a sense. It's a very confusing situation. Maybe a little early to roll initiative, but you can just tell me what you do in response, or what you want to try to.
And it sounds like just what I know in terms of would in general our gears be like overwhelming force for that military vehicle, the
yes, correct. This is not a situation. like the little truck, little truck. It actually has a name. I think it's an antelope. Yeah, the little antelope is not
Okay.
any match for your gears. Now there might be one thing you would be on the lookout for is if the men on board the antelope, someone might be packing a rocket launcher or a
Right.
one-shot rocket or something that could damage you, or be a.
But it's fair to say that we know that we got word of some raiders. Oh wait, no, we know we got word that they needed help.
Right.
We don't know exactly though
Does anyone
the
have
situation
any
yet.
good perception skills here? How about that? If you have a skill that you think is relevant, you can roll
Have
that.
notice.
If not,
Yeah.
you have notice. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I do too.
So go ahead and roll your notice, and I think this would I'll probably be asking for a 4, since that's 50-50 on one die. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've noticed of one, so I just roll one dice. Right.
Yeah.
Double die.
Do you have a perception
Okay.
bonus then?
Perception of +1.
Okay, so there you go. So you're at 1 die plus 1, so 3 or higher. You can both roll.
So I get it. I only roll a 2. So
Okay.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. All right. So Chalk puts the situation together that these are. You've seen these. These trucks are frequently used by civilian farms in the area to, move cargo around, and it looks like. Let's see. You got a 4 on your notice. Maybe you flick. You flick to an infrared sweep on your gear's many futuristic sensors and see that these trucks are the backs of the trucks. They're not empty. They're not flatbeds like in the icon. They have like a sort of a back, and they're full of quite a few people who are probably, a lot of them are probably children.
Okay. Looks like there are civilians in the 2 trucks. Or whatever I'm gonna call you. Skipper. It looks like there are civilians in the trucks.
So that'll flip it over to let's make a show of force against the folks in the Antelope. And I'll say, I guess we should spread. I guess we want to try to get in, maybe in between. Get in between the Antelope and the trucks.
Springer. Sorry, it's not an antelope. It's a so many vehicles in this game. Springer. The Springer.
The Springer.
Okay.
I'll say, maybe even say, Fleas and Dusty, you go to, you guys go close in on the trucks to defend them, and Stitch, Chalk, and I will engage with the Springer.
Okay. So let's use some mechanics, some game mechanics. Let's see how that goes. So these hexes are 50 meters each.
Okay.
So where I've put this little blue hunter is sort of like you're all in a tight formation there, and you can stay stacked in one. If you want to spread out and put more, you can do it, or you can stay stacked. Just so you know, it's not like one guy per hex, right? This is quite a lot of territory. And things happen in the tactical game, things happen on a 1 minute scale, so we can do quite a lot of operation in one round. Right, so let's see, so the trucks are going to try to follow this snaky road south, and I guess we do need some initiative. I'll just go. You go ahead and move first in this round, because you've sort of the people in the Springer coming over the ridge are basically taken by surprise to see a squadron of Northern Gears heading into the area. So let's go ahead and look at what you can do on your hunter sheet. You've got a combat speed, and you can pretty much move in your. You would have been coming in on your little rolly wheels, but in order to rolly wheel over this terrain, you can only do it following the little roads and paths. If you want to just move straight over this rough stuff, you would switch to walker, and you just walk over it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be it's just one hex per one space per one movement point per hex.
And so we get movement of combat of 4, right? So that's
right. Correct.
So we could move four hexes.
Right, and with the combat move versus the top move, the way it works is if you move your full combat move in a given round, you can declare that you're moving into top speed, and then the next round you have to move between your current, at least your combat speed, and up to your top speed. Right, and then if and you can change at the end of that, but for now,
Okay. So I think it makes sense then, and you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but I think it makes sense just to go in the 4 hexes here. That'll let us cross the road in front of where those trucks are going, and that'll put us in a good position to be in between them and the Springer.
Yeah, that sounds like a great. At this point, yeah, the direct approach. My own question is.
Unless we want to spread out. I don't know.
Well, you can drop.
Spread out at some point.
Yeah, you could probably drop off, like you were going to do anyway, the two between the trucks on the road, and maybe even have them bracket the two trucks on the road and escort them in wheeled mode, and then we can. How good how good a shot is Stitch?
Shots wise, they have the same stats. They pretty much all have the same base stats as you guys do. So I think it's 2 dice, possibly +1.
No, yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we can drop off Fleas and maybe drop off Fleas and Dusty in the hex, kind of right before right the last hex there, so that they can line up with the trucks.
Okay. Combat with these guys, and you're hearing you're seeing your sort of radio and comms gear are kind of lighting up and letting you know that there's encrypted chatter going on. So presumably these guys are communicating to someone. You can't necessarily listen in on them without an electronic warfare skill.
I have electronic warfare.
Oh, do you? Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
Well, that could be an action that you might take.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Here's the sensors. Okay, cool. I was just looking for the sensors and computer stuff.
Yeah. So on the character sheet or on the gear sheet, the 0, 0 is the bonus, is the die roll bonus for your sensors, and then the 2 and the 10 are actually the kilometer ranges, which is it's not very clear, but it took some digging to figure out that that's what was going on, but that's what's going on. So let's do some initiative. So we've got I think this is going to be a leadership role. Okay, this gets
Yeah.
you actually will make a tactics roll for the entire game, I think. And yeah, you'll make a tactics roll for the entire game, and you'll just for the entire combat at least, first of all. And this is just going to give you tactical command points, which we'll get into. So go ahead and roll your tactics, and just whatever you roll is how many tactical command points. Actually, I'll do
5.
Okay, there you go.
Just John, just to let you know, I just the things that might be you would know as the squadron commander. I do have electronic warfare, and I do have tactics, and I do have leadership. So I have those things at your disposal should you need me to do something.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, electronic warfare might be helpful.
And now for this round, you go ahead and roll your leadership, and this is actually a roll off versus the commander of the opposing force, which I didn't decide who it was, but let's put him in this guy. All right.
Another 5.
Wow, not doing great. All right, so you have a margin of success of 4, so you have 4 initiative command points for this round only, and these command points basically are going to let you do extra actions or I think interrupt. Let's see, you can buy defense bonuses. Activate a unit out of sequence. Okay. Or turn a unit. Okay, so you don't get an extra. You don't get an extra action, but you get to act out of turn with a command point. So that's how they kind of shake up the initiative, the initiative order,
Right.
which is otherwise just you go, I go. You won, so you pick whether you want the other side to act move first, and you can react to them.
Wait, I think it says the side of the least number of combat groups decides who will play first.
Oh, you're right. I think that is a tie, though, because I'm considering these guys.
Oh, combat groups.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So we're. Okay, that's interesting.
I'm considering this a one-on-one combat group fight, and I
That
don't know if
makes
I'll
sense.
ever.
Okay, I get it.
I don't know if I'll ever go higher scale than that with this game.
Okay. So we can move. Yeah. So now we can move any of all of our units.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So the interesting thing here is that when you're moving, there's the enemy can take reaction fire against you, and so it's kind of a decision whether you want to move first and risk taking a few shots to have that kind of movement advantage, or get to where you need to go, or wait and let them do what they're going to do and maybe shoot at them.
Right.
And I mean, this is all pretty new to me, and I guess all of us.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Okay.
And the last time it was in space, so.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll figure out how to do this, but I think that what she wants to do is not is kind of give. I still think we're kind of stumbling into this, and I think it makes sense to save, kind of protect the civilians, but give the people in the Springer a chance to stand down.
Okay.
So I think what I want to do this round, or what I think Fica would tell people to do this round is kind of fan out to kind of get in between, kind of like I was saying before, have the two have was it Fleas and Dusty kind of drop back and flank the trucks, so they're kind of
Right.
guarding the trucks, and then have maybe Stitch and myself and Chuck create a perimeter, blocking blocking them, and so I guess I would
Yeah. I'll just have them
Yeah.
respond to that.
So I'd have them do that, and then have us, kind of. I don't know if we would need even, kind of move that, northwest hex, and then face the Springer.
Your call. If you can you move that? Can you move that token? I think you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you want to be, and then the remainder of the squad can be in that. Let's fly.
Yeah.
But I have a question. To the south, that ridge near the road, is that higher ground than what we're on, or are we on the higher ground?
Sorry, no. The ridge goes up and then down on the other side, so it is higher than you and higher than whatever's on the other side.
Gotcha.
And then and then can we use? Let me just double check. And even if we stop going, can we then use the initiative points to shoot at them when they move?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Okay. So I think that's
Or
where.
wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. That may not be correct. No, I think if you've already moved, I think when you move, you have to decide if you're going to shoot or not. So if you haven't moved, you can. The initiative points are basically if you haven't moved yet.
Okay.
It is actually.
Oh, right.
It might be more. This might be more interesting with more combat groups, or treating everyone as a separate. That might be the intent.
Oh, right. I see.
But. And this is
Right.
also the second edition. The first edition is much more straightforward. It's just you move and then they move.
Wait, we're playing second edition, though, right?
We are playing second edition.
Okay.
That was just an observation about my choices, maybe.
Right.
In any case, the point being that since you chose to move first, if you were going to shoot, you would shoot now.
Right.
And they actually have not fired in response to your movements.
So I think I wouldn't want to fire on them just yet. I guess I want to give them a chance to back off, and we'll see what they do. I mean, if they're...
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Do you want me to try electronic warfare to kind of get through that coded signals?
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
That is a good idea, actually.
So,
Deed. I think I can probably just ask you to make a skill roll versus. I'll ask you to make it versus 5 this time. That is, you need to hit a 5.
that's exactly what I got. 5.
Okay, there you go. All right. Well, all right. You got through their channel, and there incidentally the Springer is gonna like hits the brakes and then literally reverses back. You know, sort of like back down the ridge, and
Okay.
basically, let's see. You got a successful roll, so you should get something. You're getting a lot of like, holy shit, northeast. What the hell are they doing here? And then I think you'll hear like someone cut through and say, okay, pull back. We're gonna try to don't do anything aggressive yet. If we pull them in and get them talking, we might have a shot at taking them down and taking those hunters home with us.
Chalk the lead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to try to pull us in, and with a lot of talking. There's definitely more than one of them out there, and they're going to try and take our gears.
Let's focus on getting then these trucks wherever they're going safely, and then we'll have more options to deal with them.
All right.
Okay.
You do at that point. I mean, you do get Spider does get an incoming beam on the open channel, saying, okay, Captain. This is Captain Yara hailing Northern Squadron. Please.
Yeah, this is squad leader Soberg.
Requesting.
I read you, Captain.
Requesting your assistance. Please detain those fleeing criminals for us. And we would like to parley with you and give you we can exchange intel about the situation out here in the Badlands. I know you guys are newcomers to the area, and I think we can have a productive conversation.
You're right. We are newcomers. We're still trying to sort out exactly what does seem to be going on in this situation. We're definitely going to keep an eye on the civilians in the trucks for now, and once we have a better sense of everything that's going on, I'd be happy to talk with you.
Okay. So while you're doing that, let's check in on what are the trucks doing in response to Dusty and Fleas sort of pulling up alongside them as escort. I think bugs all getting in this apartment. I think we may see, like, while the three of you in front are sort of like standing off with that little Springer, banging it down. Like Dusty and Fleas, meanwhile, are sort of pulling up alongside the trucks and kind of matching speed with it. Let's see, you're facing this way. Okay, you'll get a hail from Fleas, and he says, "These guys are wanting to head to the monastery up on the Pilgrim Road. What's our action, squad leader?"
Let's help them. Let's help them get there.
We splitting the squad?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Your call, squad leader. Hope I don't have to say I told you so. He's sassy. That's his character trait.
Well, everybody could see Chalk and her peers gun.
Alright. Alright, are you sending Dusty and Fleas?
Yeah, I'll send Dusty and Fleas. They'll, and we'll, once they get there, I'll want Fleas to kind of figure out what's going on with them.
Okay. Okay. Well, they're gonna be having a trip. It's probably about. I didn't really make up these distances, but at least 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay.
So.
I was just gonna say Chalk would probably let Fleas know to watch himself. There could be others on the road.
Okay. He'll say, "Careful as always, Chalk. We'll get these guys where they're going." And then
Don't sass me, boy.
All right. So they'll be on their way, and then we can sort of like I said, a minute is a long time, so we can sort of let that. Do you roll initiative every time? I guess you do.
Yes.
But you're temporarily out of. So keep the tactics points, but
Right.
I think we'll roll initiative again when we need to roll initiative.
Okay.
Let's see. So you send off the trucks, and I'm tempted. Go ahead and make make notice rolls, just on curiosity. So bonus.
Ooh, 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 5 plus 1. So 6.
Same here.
Okay. Well, I just gonna bring up that it might float through your head to wonder why you haven't heard back from the original caller.
Right.
Since you're in radio contact with one of the belligerents, but you've never received another call from the other.
All right.
From the original hailer.
Do we know if there is like or how close are we to the Tobin homestead?
Okay, so if you want to zoom out on the map, just this whole thing is the homestead, basically.
Oh, okay, down where the buildings are.
Other side of the ridge. Yeah.
Okay. And do I sell that communication channel with the belligerent, the captain?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I can probably talk more with him. Although we want to move first. Can we see him? I mean, he's still on the ridge. We can
Yeah.
we can kind of see the Springer, or is it this line of sight? Is he like hidden now?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he would technically be hidden from where you are. If you like, I can turn that off.
Okay.
Do you have anything in particular in mind to initiate comms with him, or are you going to wait for him? Or?
So I'll say, Captain, we were here answering a distress call. Maybe you can let me know what you know about that.
Well, this is a complex situation, but these outlaws do have a radio tower on their homestead, which they use to signal for outside interference. I had one of my boys put a rocket in that just to knock that off. You know, if you want to get a look at the lay of the land, we are currently searching the premises for contraband, and we'd be happy to exchange information about what goes on at this homestead.
We're definitely curious to hear what is, what you're investigating here. And then I think, kind of turn off, just, not to him, but only on a comm line to Chalk. I don't know what exactly we've stumbled into, but it sounds like there could be more people in danger back at the homestead besides just those those civilians in the trucks.
Agreed. Do you think we want to call in some air support or the section?
Funny you mention that. You don't actually have air support.
Never mind.
You do
Can we
have.
call the section, maybe?
I think we can handle it. Let's see if those guys in the Springer are alone. Let's go along with what they're asking for now and go. We'll cautiously approach.
Okay. Taking up the subject of air support for a second, I based that decision on just what was written in the Badlands book about the regiment, and just the general thing that's described in the source material, that air movement is difficult over the Badlands in fixed wing vehicles for just different convection winds, I guess, and tempests.
Right.
And so the bottom line is that although there are air vehicles in one of the books, it's not necessarily the norm for Badlands warfare to involve a lot of aerial bombing.
Okay.
You do have, I think there are some fire support sections in one of the other companies, which are basically gears with big rockets and missiles on them. and so that's what you would have for fire support, but it doesn't move around as quickly as air support would, right? So for the time being, it's just you guys. Oh, sorry. And so you said. So what action did you decide to take? You guys decided.
We're gonna I want to advance up over the ridge, just kind of get a better sight on them and see what they are doing.
Okay.
I think we.
So you want me to just move you to the ridge here, like there? Okay, there you go. Yeah. All right. So let's see. This guy, would he still be there? He might have backed down a little farther, I guess. But what's this? Okay, this is a Jaeger,
Yeah.
a Southern gear. It looks like it's kind of like the armor has been patched up with different, improvised materials all the years. So it's kind of junky looking. It's got like these sort of clan markings painted on it, like bright colored, jagged yellow and white, or yellow and black lines and markings. So it's this, looks like for chalk you would think, this is probably a gear that was decommissioned after the War of the Alliance, and that they've been like sold and floating around the Badlands for 15 years, and here it is. So he is carrying looks like an old and well weather beaten autocannon, like the autocannons you have, but he does not have the rocket pod, and you're not sure about the other the other auxiliary weapons. And let's see, if you're up here. I think you can. You need active sensors for this. Well, you got sensor range 2 kilometers. That's
40 hexes in it?
40 hexes. Yeah. Okay. So I think we can just go ahead and light up the whole board for you. So you've got you two and let's see, Stitch, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Stitch will come in on private and say, if we pop these two right now, we might have a shot.
Just a quick question about would there is so it sounds like there's really no legitimate jurisdiction here that we necessarily have either.
Well, some people say you have no legitimate jurisdiction here, period.
Right.
Jurisdiction is pretty much who has the guns and wants to use them in this situation.
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, from the point of view, it might be interesting to consider that from the point of view of your two different characters. That may be more clear to Chalk, who has been around the block more times with this kind of stuff. It'd be an interesting question whether Fica was more idealistic, in particular with her religion. So,
yeah. Right.
The mission that you guys are here on is because of the current culture of the Norlight Confederacy, and how they're sort of taking the guard along with them in this sort of fundamentalist conception of the purpose of the military. Bottom line is there's this sort of halo of this is both a geopolitical necessity and it's morally virtuous for us to be here. And that would be the orthodox religious, revisionist, Sorrento revisionist view, particularly Norlight revisionist view of what you're doing here, that there is like an actual sacred or what do they call it? They say something in one of the books that that in the revisionist theology they call it a peregrination to improve the world or advance understanding or spiritual understanding in the world. And of course the northern Sorrento revisionists consider sort of just use of force to be part of that process. So.
Okay. So what I'll do, I think is it makes sense that with Fica's going to see that the situation is a little different than she thought. So I think one calling just calling. I mean, I guess I still don't. I don't think. I still kind of don't know what else is out there, but I think she would then call, let Dusty and Fleas know and say, we're going to need more help here, and just have Dusty continue up with the 2 trucks to escort them, and have Fleas make his way back.
Okay.
It would be the first thing she's going to do. And then I think will say to on the comm line to the captain.
I'm gonna move one of these guys a little.
What? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm moving one of these guys a little to reflect some different activity. Just I'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay. She'll say to the captain, how about until we do figure out everything that's going on in the situation, you call your squad back out of the homestead?
He says, this is our territory, Northy. We're going to do what we came here to do. The only question is whether you're going to be in our way or you're going to be on the right side of this. Since that conversation happened, and since I talked about what I was doing with these little guys, you can see that the gear that I've labeled JB is just in the process of demolishing these various Quonset huts and little sheds and things, and he's just rolling the place looking for apparently searching for something.
Yeah.
Because a gear is the best thing to search for.
Yeah. Well, it's a sort of crude. There's also well, now that you're having this here, I'll light up some. Come on, guys. There are also men in the encampment, and you'll probably see them going through. They're sort of like the gears are doing the sort of gross wreckage and opening of buildings, and the raiders are then going through and combing stuff. And this is about 10 people.
So I think this is
excitingly killable.
So she'll say, I have no doubts that I am on the right side.
Go ahead and tell me what you're doing if you've got a plan.
So Chalk wanted to use electronic warfare to find out if we can find out pinpoint where the captain is.
Yeah, I think because you already sort of got their comms, Oh, I should actually probably be feeding you a little more information about that. That'll probably give you a little more information as you go forward. A is I'll color him green. A is the captain. On your
Oh, A down here. Okay.
on the code broken comms, you've been hearing them sort of back chatter about. There's some back chatter amongst themselves about like what are we gonna do with the marshal? Are we gonna try to fish him out of where he's holed up, or do we have to wait for this northern thing to blow over? And you can kind of put together. So basically,
Yeah.
somewhere over where's my little pointer? Somewhere over on this part of the homestead is where the presumably the person who sent the distress call in the first place is holed up, and
Okay.
these people over here were apparently on that side of the map were apparently exchanging fire with him and whoever is holed up with him, and so they're sort of trying to figure out how this is all going to shake out to see if they are going to move in on him or let it go or what.
I relay all that information to Fica.
Yeah, gotcha.
Or to Spider.
Okay. So let's. I think we're gonna then. I think we decided that talking isn't going to do too much more good, and they are not. They're obviously because they're back chatter. We know they're not really interested in talking to us either.
Yeah.
So let's take out the two closest ones if we can.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll initiative with a +1, I would say.